Hi, this is Robert Harrison, Director at the NLP Institute of California. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between the map and the territory. In NLP, we say the map is not the territory. Territory is referring to reality. This is what's actually happening outside of our minds. If we had videotape surveillance footage of what's going on like outside our homes, this would be the data that it's picking up and that it's kind of registering. But then what we are responding to in our mind is a subset of that. There are about 2 million bits of information, according to Mahai in his book Flow, that we could possibly absorb at 1 second. But out of that, only about 134 of those bits can get into our conscious and our unconscious minds. What this means in essence is we are creating these collages in our mind, or these maps in our mind, and they consist of pictures and sounds and feelings and tastes and smells about this external experience. But they are not the same. You wouldn't confuse the menu with the meal at the restaurant, or the map of where you're going with the actual road you're driving on. They're different. But it's these mental collages or maps that we are responding to emotionally and reacting to in our minds. And we're doing this through a process of comparison with other collages in our mind, and then some storytelling when we tell ourselves a story about what this will mean for us in the future. And of course, that's how we know how to feel, and that's how we know how to respond. So for example, if your doctor comes to you and says, wow, your checkup looks great, blood works great, everything's wonderful, you look like you're in excellent health. However, there is a lump and we should check it. It could be nothing, but you never know. And now you've got this juxtaposition of this thing that is tied to you, and it could be nothing or it could be something significant, and you don't know what it means. Think about how you'd feel. Do you think you'd be relaxed about that? Do you think you might be a little bit anxious over time? And until the doctor calls you and tells you the test results, or brings you in and gives you the test results, you don't know whether you're going to feel massively relieved or massively upset, okay, until you get that meaning and you find out what it's going to mean for you in the future. A relationship example of that would be, your loved one calls you up and says, "Hi, honey, this is me. We need to talk. I'll see you when I get back into the country next month." And now for 30 days you're wondering, is he going to propose? Is he going to break up? Is this going to be horrible news? Is this going to be great news? You just don't know what it means. So until we decide what something means, we have no idea how we're going to feel or how we're going to react in response. And one of the things you want to realize is that we are not ever getting the whole picture. We are getting a tiny, tiny little subset of the picture. So here's a quick story to illustrate that point. There are 3 blind monks that live in a monastery most of their life. But towards the end of their life, they're traveling from one monastery to another, and a young village boy is leading them through the jungle. Now these monks, because they've never been out of the monastery, have heard of these great elephants, but they've never actually experienced one firsthand. And as they're walking through the jungle, sure enough, they hear some sounds and they come across a wild elephant. And so the first priest, super curious about what this experience of the elephant is like, asks the village boy to take him to the elephant. And the village boy takes him to the trunk of the elephant. He begins to feel the trunk, and it's moving around, and it's slithering about. And he goes, "My God, the elephant is just like a giant snake, and it moves and slithers about." Intrigued, the second blind priest calls to the boy and says, "Please take me to the elephant," because he also wants to experience this and see what this giant slithering snake feels like. But the boy, to be funny, takes him up to the leg of the elephant. And so this blind priest, goes to the leg of the elephant and starts feeling the leg, and he goes, "No, it's not like a snake at all. It's solid like a tree trunk. What are you talking about? You have it completely wrong." And they begin to argue back and forth. To settle the debate, the third priest tells the village boy, "Please take me to the elephant and I will settle this." And again, to be funny, the village boy takes the third blind priest to the tail of the elephant, which is very long and has bristles at the end, much like a broom. And so as he begins to experience the elephant, he says, "Oh my gosh, both of you are wrong. It's like a broom. It's not like a snake. It's not like a tree at all." And so the question is, who's right and who's wrong? And it's very relative, isn't it? Because all of them are right in the context of what they're experiencing, but none of them have the full context. And so here's how you can use this on a daily basis. If you're feeling down today, if you're feeling depressed, if you look at your life and it feels horrible and it feels like you can't get over it and nothing will get better, realize you're only seeing a sliver of the whole picture. Your mind has deleted all of the things that are working, all the things that you can be grateful for, all the things that you can appreciate, all of the blessings that you have, and the abilities and capabilities and all of those things. So how do you start shifting from this kind of more focused on what's not working way of thinking to focusing on what is working? Number one, realize you're never getting the whole picture. The map is not the territory. And what this also means is that when you're communicating with a loved one, their map of the world, of how relationships work, of how you and them interact may be different than your own. So always be curious. Whenever you can, in NLP, we say there is no dogma, right? There is no dogma, and we don't judge anything as good or bad or right or wrong. We look at it as useful or not useful, where, when, and with whom. So never confuse the map with the territory, and if you don't like what you're seeing, enhance your perspective. Get some more perspective. Look at it from another point of view. Ask someone else how they see it so they can share their point of view with you. Benjamin Franklin said, if I give you $1 and you give me $1, we each have $1. There's really nothing that's different. But if I give you an idea and you give me an idea, we now both go from having one idea to having two, and it multiplies. And be resourceful. Remember, the map is not the territory. Don't confuse the two. And as you start to learn NLP, you'll learn how you can use this distinction of the map and the territory to enrich your experience and make reaching your goals a lot easier and keep a positive attitude. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.